My name's Tom Nieman. I am Vice President of Worldwide Marketing for JCM Global. I came out of school quite some time ago and had my first employment opportunity was with Bally Manufacturing in Chicago. So I started to work with Bally in an office that was both coin-op amusement product and gaming product. And I eventually sat in an office with two senior level guys who were selling those products. And so I heard one side of the conversation of probably the most gaming sales. Bally at that point was a dominant slot supplier worldwide. And in the course of so many years, got to meet industry giants. A very young Steve Wynn coming in looking for a few machines to stick in his first casino, things like that. And at the moment, didn't seem all that important, but now as you look back in time and think who those people were and who came through, the Cy Reds of the world, it was an exciting time, and certainly for a young person like myself, a lot of fun. And I think that's what hooked me. I've currently been with JCM for the last 10 years. I've been in Las Vegas for 20 years. I moved out there in 1992 to take a position, oddly enough, back with Bally. I started with Bally, and as all typical things, you meander away. I got into the lottery business and some other gaming-related businesses. And they asked me to draft a marketing plan to roll out their gaming business as an independent element from the very large Bally Manufacturing and create a new independent publicly held company called Bally Gaming International Inc. And to do the research for over a course of 6 months, I saw that the entire gaming industry in the early 90s was about to explode, certainly in the United States. So they offered me the position as Vice President of Marketing. I took it, and have been in the gaming business out of Las Vegas ever since. JCM Global is a Osaka-based company with a headquarters here in Tokyo. It was founded in 1955, so it's got quite some history. It was the first company to create a bill validator for an application in the gaming industry 24 years ago. And the very first bill validator showed up in an IGT machine, and it was at Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas. And from the moment it hit the floor, it was a very disruptive and successful technology. The idea of a player being able to insert high denomination notes, build an escrow account, if you will, and then be able to play off that account had a tremendous impact to the revenue of the machine. Prior to the bill validator, you had to insert these large dollar tokens, and you would get trays and trays of these heavy tokens, and to make your wager, you took your coin, put 1, 2, 3, pull the handle, 1, 2, 3, pull the handle. Now you could insert a $100 note, build this $100 escrow account, and with the ease of tapping a button, make a max bet. So income jumped 20, 25, 30% or more per machine. It was introduced, and literally, I would say within 4, no more than 5 years, near 100% of all gaming machines in North America had bill validators in them. So it's a case of right place, right time. Well, as I mentioned, bill validators is sort of what we're known for. What we really are a provider of the critical peripheral components into the gaming industry. An electronic gaming machine has a few critical elements. One of those is we take the money. All the money comes in through a currency validator. And in the gaming industry, it is so critical that you denominate it correctly, determine its value, and you validate it to make sure it's a legitimate note, that it's not a counterfeit note. Unlike some suppliers of our type of equipment, we grew up in gaming, meaning high denomination. If someone grew up in an industry, whether it's vending or something else, where it was critical to take $1 or $5, it's a different mentality, because if someone gets beat, they lose a can of Coke or a Snickers candy bar. In our industry, if the machine is defeated, it's standing in front of, could be potential megabuck jackpots, millions of dollars. So the ability to understand and validate high denomination currency is so critical in the gaming industry that in other industries doesn't necessarily need to have that capability. So we provide those. In addition, we've provided the printers, and that's the outside. The money comes in through the bill validator, a person plays, determines it's time to terminate. It seems like whenever I quit, it's because there's no money left. But if you're fortunate enough to have some money still on the credit and you wish to cash out, well, today it's typically hitting a button and getting a TITO ticket, a ticket in, ticket out, T-I-T-O, TITO ticket, and that's done by the printer. So in essence, you're printing that casino currency. Very critical to do it right, do it quick, and get it perfectly every time. So we're handling the money coming into the device, and in essence, the money coming out of the device. So those are two very critical components. And in addition, recently we've added digital media, flat screen displays. The industry has gone wild over it, and I don't blame it. We all have gone wild over screens. Our lives are filled with screens, between phones and iPads and laptops and everything else. We now expect the delivery of all our information, all our entertainment on some sort of flat screen. Well, we sell those screens to the casino industry, and from nominal size that would be a 34, 38 inch up to, we do entire walls, video walls. We're working on a contract now in excess of 25 feet tall and 60 plus feet wide in a sports book. So the delivery of information on digital media is an exciting avenue. So those are really the three steps to JCM. Well, JCM is a global company. We literally have offices and support around the world. I come out of the office in Las Vegas, and the immediate areas that we cover would be the North and South America, North, South America, and Central America. We have an office in Dusseldorf, and that is for Europe, the Middle East, and Africa. And then we have an office here in Asia to cover the PAC Asian markets. So Australia, New Zealand, Southeast Asia, Macau, China. Transactions are what we do, automated transactions. No industry uses cash like the gaming industry. Most businesses have migrated over to forms of plastic, credit card, smart card, we're near field communication. The casino industry is really the epitome of that concept of cash is king. Everyone likes to have that cash in hand, to be paid off in cash. And so right now, the casino industry is far more cash or currency dependent than most businesses. But in all situations, convenience for the consumer is what drives change. And as consumers want greater convenience, whether it's in the retail marketplace or in the casino marketplace, transactions are starting to reshape themselves, to redefine themselves. And so very intelligently, JCM has invested a great deal with forward-looking type technology. Where is it going? What does the consumer want to do? Do we literally want to take our cell phones, tap it onto it, and perform our transactions? Are there any other means of conducting business in an automated fashion? And if there are, we better be ready with them. I think we will see a trend towards more use of mobile phones. The mobile wallet, the e-wallets that are emerging, I can't see how that will be not in demand and transition to gaming. Now, unlike most retail, we have regulatory oversight. And will the regulators allow one to take their mobile phone out and access their account and put in their PIN, walk up to either an ATM, NFC-based ATM, or a machine-based, and transfer funds that way, virtual funds. But there's so many positive impacts on that. You no longer have cash coming out of the ATM. You don't have stock to the ATM. The transaction to the machine is very easy. There's an absolute record that's kept. You say, well, there's no receipt. Well, there's electronic receipts. So it offers a lot of benefits. And then when you have that cellular or mobile situation, now I can store my loyalty cards. I can send promotional items. Casino wants to keep me in the casino, on property. We talked about all the IRs here in Japan. Now I'm kept on property because they know he's been playing for a while. Let's make sure, get him something at a Starbucks, or get him a buffet pass, and get him to, nest on property and stay on property. So I think that's an exciting trend. I think it'll be age-driven. I think younger players will be the leaders, the pioneers in that area. But even old guys like me might do it too. So the challenges come from the standpoint that we talked about transactions. And the casino industry is reflective of retail in general. Where does a consumer want to go with their transactions? And a minute ago we talked about convenience, how convenience drives technology changes, and especially in transactions. So we have to be prepared for what direction, where's the casino going to go, and what are they going to allow? Now you have regulatory issues, what will they allow? You have consumer issues, what does the player want to do? And then you have operational issues, what is the casino, how do they want to handle it? How do they want to take something in? I mentioned that casino play in general is very cash heavy. And I don't see that going away anytime very quickly, but eventually I think we will use less and less cash or currency. We saw the emergence of Tito tickets because there was a convenience. Did I want a hopper paying me out, trays full of coins and putting them into? No. All of a sudden a ticket comes out, no longer have a hopper. Your fingers don't get filthy with coins, and you get this Tito ticket that is easy and convenient to walk to the next machine, deposit it, or walk to an ATM or a kiosk, convert it, and get my cash and go out. So again, we have to attempt to watch constantly where are the trends. And it might be trends in other industries that will eventually transition into gaming. So if we watch those and be cognizant and be prepared for them, we have to have a knowledge base that goes just beyond validating and denominating currency. So that's kind of a challenge to us all the time. But interesting too. Interesting to see what's going on in other segments, other industries, and saying, could that work for us? I think what's critical, I talked about those peripheral components, the bill validator that takes currency in, the printer that creates the Tito ticket. And I think the more we make that equipment more robust, more capable and secure, we talk about technology today and allows us to do more things and become better at it. That same technology works for the bad guys. And counterfeiting is as tough a problem as it's ever been, because of the technology they can get their hands on can reproduce currency better than it's ever been done before. And we have very limited space and price points to work within to be able to catch some very sophisticated counterfeits. So we need to always be looking at what can we do to make it more secure, because if we allow something through that shouldn't have, the potential to win significant size jackpots is there. So it's a challenge. Integration with the various back-end systems, because to accept a Tito ticket, It has to be, you know, accepted by the system and checked against it to make sure that it's valid, to generate a TITO ticket, all those things. So integration of peripheral components that have to go into a variety of OEM boxes on a variety of platforms that then have to speak to a third-party back-end system for the most part. And so integration of all that is critical. And we've worked very diligently with all the OEMs and the systems providers so that the language we're all speaking can be consistent. The data transfer is quick, efficient, secure, those type of things. So integration of our products is critical to our industry, our segment. I'm fortunate enough I was asked to serve on the AGEM, which is the Association of Gaming Equipment Manufacturers Executive Board. And I'm treasurer of that and have been reelected to that, I think 3 elections worth or something. I'm in my 3rd or 4th year of that, so I consider that a highlight. You know, 140 members around the globe, and to serve on the executive board there. And then this week there was a highlight. I've just been notified I've been nominated for the Gaming Hall of Fame. And I don't even know how this works. There's a vote, I guess, by certain members. And I don't know if they're really trying to stretch the edges and diversify and bring in anybody. But I was very honored in the fact that that took place. So that's an exciting thing for me. It's a great industry. It may have been sort of, when it was your father's casino, people looked at it kind of shady. Who are the people that are involved? It is just filled with publicly held companies. The regulatory oversight is unbelievable. We deal also in the banking world, and the regulatory oversight in gaming is far greater than what banks are put to. So the industry today has evolved, has matured, and it's critical that we keep bringing in young, talented, well-educated people. So I would encourage anybody with the yen to please people, to understand people, with a sense for hospitality, to take a look at the casino industry. Get a great education, be a generalist, know a little bit about a lot of things. Don't focus too early on, I'm going to be an accountant, or I'm going to be this, I'm going to be that. Learn everything, the entire operation from beginning to end. Then once you have that sort of common base as a foundation, then find the area that's your niche, where you fit in. Is it in the marketing realm? Is it in the operations side, the hospitality side, food and beverage? All those little nuances, because when you talk integrated resorts, there is so much out there. Retail, food and beverage, entertainment. And casino, the gaming, the gambling part of it is only one element. So learn everything and then find your niche. Games are funny. They reflect personalities. There's aggressive people, there's passive people, there's social people, and there's loners, you know. And the exciting thing is that the gaming industry has games just about for everybody. So I guess it depends on the person itself. Personally, I'm not a heavy gambler at all, thank God. I think once you work sort of behind the curtain and know how it functions, I'm not that big a gambler. I would call myself a recreational video poker player, and it's just sort of killing time type situation. You know, you're with friends, or someone's come to town and you're waiting to pick them up, and I'll sit down and play a video poker. Interesting though, I moved to Las Vegas 20 years ago. And I was sort of living out there Monday through Friday for the job, and on a weekend, and flying back to Chicago for the weekends. Eventually my wife said, you know what, I think I'll come out. I said, great, come on out for the weekend. So she comes out. I pick her up at the airport at McCarran late on a Friday night, and we go back to where I was living in one of the hotels, the Bally Hotel. So we go back there and sit at the Circle Bar right in the middle. I don't even think it's there anymore. That's how long ago this was. and it had a linked progressive, meaning a jackpot that was building. And we sat down, and my wife goes, "Now, explain this to me, this video poker thing. Show me how does this work?" So I take a 20 out, and I said, "Well, you know, put it in, you're playing poker, you want to hold the, you know, certain hands and discard." And so I played 5, 6 hands to show her how to play, and she goes, "Oh, I think I get it." So she starts playing it right then. And so I forget what she got dealt. She held this, and his, boom, like that, hit a jack, hit a royal flush. I think she won $2,400. Now she'd been in town all of 45 minutes, and she's won this jackpot. And so the person came out, and they hand pay it like this, and now she's ecstatic. Of course, it's her money. She forgot who put the money in, but it's her winnings. And she said, "Well, that's so easy. If you could do that, say, once a week, just think what that would do to your income." And I said, the odds on hitting a royal flush, there's 2.4 million to 1 on a royal flush, and there's 4 suits, so there's 650,000 to 1 on each of the suits. I said, this isn't going to happen again for a very, very long time. So don't get used to thinking that, oh, well, let's just go put $20 in and get 2,500 back. So, but that was her first experience. As far as the lottery, I think like everybody else on the face of the earth, when it hits some gargantuan multi-million-dollar number, as if 20 million, who would even bother to play? But occasionally in the States we have these multi-link lotteries, it will gets up to 100 million or $200 million. And at that point they're going to get probably 5 of my dollars on a long shot of who knows. You got to buy some tickets to have any chance to win. And we certainly don't have that in Nevada. We have no lottery. So if I'm traveling on business and I'm in California, or I'm in Ohio, or I'm in somewhere else in the States, and one of these mega jackpots are up there, I'll finally spring for $5, maybe even 10, and have that dream that you may hit it. Of course, it's so grounding when you find out that you didn't win. I tend to not even look to see what the numbers are or who won for weeks, because I can keep the fantasy up as long as I know I haven't won.